Hello everybody. Today we're gonna continue with MobX and React.js, using MobX as a state management system. Last time we looked at the basic usage and introduction to to MobX. Sorry, that's still left over. And today we're gonna be looking at MobX data structures. So what that really means with this class here and how we can play around with it a little bit. Okay. As always, there is a repository also linked down below. Feel free to check that out and clone it, play around with it, and yeah, let's jump right into it. Okay, so there is this class that we used last time, and then we exported that as a singleton, that's called, right? We have a class, and then we create one instance, and then we just export that instance. In React, in React and JavaScript, or in programming in general, that's like a design pattern, maybe that's called. But you can also use that differently. You don't need to have a singleton. In our case, in this case, I only wanted to have one store, right? But there's also the possibility that you want to have multiple instances of that store. Hopefully you know a little bit about classes. If so, that hopefully makes sense for you. But yeah, so here, this is a singleton. We just export one instance of that. We could also have just that store, that class, but what that means, we need to actually, we can import the store, but then we need to create a new instance. Now this is helpful for let's say if you have multiple. So let's say right now I only have the Bitcoin price, right? Let's say I want to have multiple prices, right? Not only Bitcoin, but also Ethereum and then Cardano and whatnot. So maybe I can create a store, one like general store, and then a store for each of those coins, right, to display information. So let's maybe do that right now. So I'm still gonna have one big store. Not big store, but that's exactly the reason why I don't want to have it in here, because I don't want to create a class that is going to be huge, right? So in our case, that's okay. But then later on, if you add more and more stuff to it, you don't want to have one store only, right? So you might have different separate stores, right? So you might have one store for your settings, and then one store for your users. So you could just create settings.js and then class settings. Yeah, maybe let's also do that. Why not? Export default new settings. Okay, and then we can have, let me just think about it, a time format, something like this. So either, in the beginning, let's just do, I'm gonna use moment in a second here. But yeah, so basically just one class, one singleton, because there might be screens where you have multiple settings, but chances are if you change, let's say, your time format or your language, you want to have that same language throughout the app, right? So this is why we would want one store for the settings that just has one instance and multiple instances. Whereas with the coins, so I'm still gonna have that general, like the overall store, right? But I'm still, I wanna do something like this where one store is available per coin. So I'm gonna create that as well. Class coin, I'm just gonna call that coin store. And we'll see what comes in there. Okay. And then export default coin store. So we're not gonna create an instance right away. I wanna do that in here. Sorry. So I'm gonna have, so still all this stuff. Well, okay, let me just copy and paste that maybe, because this we still need. So I'm gonna convert that convert that to here. Oops. Okay. Set interval. Very nice. And then set price to here. Okay. Well. All right. Let's see. So empty store right now. Not sure. Okay. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just gonna comment that out. Okay. Sorry. I'm doing like a little bit of well, a lot of changes here, right? But hopefully you can follow. So we have this store, and we're gonna have our coins in here, and then in addition to that, we're gonna have the setting store, just as an extra example. Hopefully that's not overwhelming. So I'm gonna have the Bitcoin store in here is a new, well, okay, let me import that first. Import coin store from coin. Very good. So remember, we're not creating a new instance here, so we can make as many as we want, right? And then I can say Bitcoin, oops, that needs to be in the class, is a new store, new coin store. Okay. And then, since we want to make that dynamic, we probably, so what is different is the ticker pair, right? So all of the coins are gonna have a price and date updated, okay? So that is not different for Ethereum or for Cardano or for Polkadot or for Bitcoin. Doesn't matter. All of them have a price and a date updated. So they can be generic, but what is not generic is the actual ticker, or ticker. I'm still not sure how to call that, but I think it's called ticker. Okay. So something like Bitcoin Euro, right? Well, I think I used US dollar and actually Tether, but yeah. Okay, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of errors. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna make that, right? So I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have one coin store for Bitcoin, and I'm also gonna have one coin store for Ethereum. And I hope that is working. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see in a second. Okay, and then I could also do one for ADA. Yeah, we'll check on those ticker pairs, but hopefully you get the idea that I want to have multiple stores, right? And here instantiated separately, whereas with the general store that holds these sub stores, I want to just have one. That's why I export a singleton, right? Same goes for the settings. I just want to have one setting store. Okay, well, let's implement that. And then we're going to put that on the screen as well. So the ticker, we actually get that ticker from here. And then we just say this dot ticker is the ticker that we pass. Okay. And then let's maybe just log this dot ticker. Okay. Looks pretty good. We have 3 different stores. Very good. And then yeah, looks good. Now let's actually let's adapt that a little bit. So I'm not gonna call that fetch Bitcoin price. We wanna just have that dynamics. I'm gonna call that fetch price and pass this dot ticker. Okay. Fetch price is import fetch price from utils. Okay. I'm gonna pass the ticker in here. I did that there. Okay. So now I can plus ticker. Okay. And then ticker. Don't need to worry about that. Yeah, as I said in the last video, you can watch the videos about crypto investing, and then I will explain basically this function or what I'm doing here in there. But yeah, just like for now, think that okay, if I'm calling something like, well, what I had before, right? Something like this, then it just returns me the price of Bitcoin. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Let's see. Start interval. Just gonna make a new function here. And then, yeah, actually, I think we need this. Okay, console log, this dot ticker. Let's see if that works. This dot start interval. That's an async function. Okay, we have the ticker. Very good. Oops. Then we'll see. Okay, we do have some pricing here, and I didn't expect that to be correct, to have the correct pairings here. So 51,000 for Bitcoin. Well, actually, this dot ticker. Let's log it this way. So Bitcoin is 51,000, Ethereum is 1,700 or something, and ADA Cardano is 1.12, something like that. So yeah, that looks about right. Then we can simply put it in here, right? And that should work, I think. So okay, maybe I was too quick to do that. I'm not quite sure. Let's log that and see if that works. I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Okay, so it works this way. Start interval. Okay, it works the same. So yeah, forget what I said earlier. There was a thing with binding to this and auto binding and all that. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just, I mean, you can do both, like so, right? This would be a class property, and The other way would be a class method. Both work. The one is like somewhat experimental. This one is not experimental, so I'll probably just want to go with this one. Okay. Okay, so I'm not doing anything with that, right? I have 3 stores, which works nicely. But now let's put that on a page, right? And I have that stored, by the way, I have that stored in here, okay? And I'm not doing much with it, but remember with MobX, you don't need to worry about updating your component and whatnot. All you need to do is have it wrapped as an observer, right? And then you can simply access any observable, something like price or date updated, okay? And then MobX will handle the rest and update the component as soon as that observable changes, right? So let's say the price changes in one of the coin stores, then, and I have that on the screen, then this one updates. So let's just do that, right? So I'm gonna have store dot, and all I need to do here is Bitcoin, to add Bitcoin. Okay, and there you go. Bitcoin price is being updated. The formatting is not quite nice, so let's change that as well. So let's, a couple of steps here. So first, I want to update the time formatting. I'm going to use moment for that, and I'm going to base that on the time format, right? So I'm going to use another store that I built earlier to access that variable, and then I don't want to repeat myself so I could do this, right? Ethereum, right? And ADA, okay? So I don't want to do this because then I just repeat myself so much. So we're gonna see in a bit that there's a nicer way to do that, right? Alrighty. Okay, what did I want to do first? Let's do the date formatting. So I'm gonna use moment for that. Yarn add moment. It's a really nice date formatting library. Yarn dev again. Okay. Import moment from moment. Then moment, and I'm gonna pass the store.bitcoin.date updated, pass a value in there, a date value, right? Then I'm gonna format that with the setting store this time, right? So I can just simply get the time format and plug that in there. Okay, so import setting store from store settings. Okay, format setting store dot time format. Let's see, and that still works. Very good. Yeah, maybe you can see that only this one. Well, yeah, that's not really meaningful, but if we would have well, actually, yeah, I think that is somewhat meaningful. So you can see that only this one flashes. So React and MobX, I actually don't know which one does it, but they evaluate where they need to make the changes, right? They don't just re-render everything. But yeah, since only this one changes, only that one gets replaced, that node on the screen, right? So to ensure the performance is very nice. Okay, next up, I'm gonna make that a little bit dynamic. So there's different ways. One, probably it's better to do it this way, the other way. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have those in an array. Okay. I'm gonna have those as an array, and then I can map over them. Simple as that. Okay. But maybe one more thing, since I do want to have this one here, clear name, in front, I'm passing something. So I'm gonna pass Bitcoin here, Ethereum. I'm just gonna pass the clear name of the coin, Cardano, to the constructor, and that way I can save it. Okay, this clear name is, just call that name, is name. Okay, name ticker, very good. Oh, well, yeah, okay, obviously it's breaking. We didn't adapt that. Okay, hopefully that makes sense in a second. So I'm gonna remove those because now I'm gonna map over them. So I'm gonna go store.coins.map, and then for every coin, for every coin, I'm gonna return the same thing, right? And then when mapping, remember, always give it a key. I mean, React will probably complain, but still, coin, I'm gonna use a ticker as somewhat of an ID here. And then I can replace that with coin updated. Okay, very nice. Yeah, that's exactly the thing why I changed that. So we do have the Bitcoin hard-coded. I can use the coin.name here. Right, so I have a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and then you could go on and on and on, and simply just add a new coin. So yeah, kraken.com. I'm just gonna grab one. We'll see. Polkadot, right? Polkadot, and then hopefully I'm gonna be right with that one as well. We'll see. Yep, there we go. Right, and this is the benefit of these data structures. Now, I mean, obviously, these data structures, in this case, classes, is not unique to MobX or to React. But with the mechanisms, the binding of the values and the re-rendering, it becomes quite powerful with just a couple of lines of code, right? So we're making a coin store, and even that is not quite a lot, and you can just reuse that, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do one more thing that I wanna to bring in the settings store a little bit more. So I'm gonna have a button which kind of mimic, I mean, probably the settings you would have on a different screen. I'm not gonna do that right now, but I'm just gonna have a button down here to toggle the time format, right? So toggle format, and there, maybe just as a reminder again, if you change those observables, you always want to use an action, right? MobX will probably complain if you don't do that, but yeah, as a rule of thumb, well, no, as a rule, just always use an action to update those observables, right? Okay, toggle format, and then if time format, just gonna have to string. Well, okay, I'm gonna log that time format. This dot time format. Okay, just step by step, right? Okay, settings, and then on our page, I'm gonna have a button toggle time format, and on click is gonna be the settings store dot toggle time format. Okay, there we go. So let's see. I'm gonna click on that, and then okay, that's a string. Perfect. Very, very nice. Okay, then yeah, there's I don't need to do this. So later on, I'm gonna have well, I'm not sure, probably not in this video, but there's a way to have objects and arrays, and then once we start getting into this, it's gonna get a little bit interesting. But yeah, more on this later. For now, I think that's okay. If time format is const time formats is, we're just gonna have 2 for now, right? Because we want to toggle it. So I'm gonna have 1, and then like this. So this basically is 0 to 12. Minutes is the same, and then AM, PM, I think. Hope I'm correct. Time formats, and then 0 is time formats dot 0. This time format is basically the other one, right? I'm just gonna, probably not the nicest way of doing it, but it works, I guess. Right, so if it's the first one, yeah, the first one changes to the second one. If it's the second one, changes to the first one. Should be okay. So let's try. Toggle time format, and nothing happens. That's very good. Well, it's not good, but let's see. Probably, let's see, moment format. Let's see what the docs say. Display, okay. So, yeah, it should be okay, actually. Let's see what it does here. It's always changing to this one. I wonder, well, maybe it is the toString. Nope. Well, okay, if it's the first one, changes. Okay. So what is it? What is it before? Also gonna log this one. Let's see. So that should be the same. Well, probably not sure. Let's try that. It is the same. So, yeah. Well, that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm changing it to the second one, and then right away I'm changing it to the first one again. That was very smart. But yeah, I guess that happens sometimes, especially a little bit later in the day. Okay, so this should work now. Let's try it. Yeah, very nice. So this is for our American friends, and this is for our European friends. Very good. Okay, yeah, and I think, well, now we do have 3 different stores. One is the store that kind of brings it all together, at least the other coin stores, which is a singleton. Then we do have our coins, our coin stores, right? We can make as many as we want, which is super handy. And they each have their own functionality that we can reuse, right? And we're instantiating them in here in the main store. And then we also have that setting store that kind of lives separate from them. And we're using all of them basically. Okay. Yeah, I think this concludes the video about the data structures for the stores, at least. There is, as I mentioned, there is, well, which could also fall into the part of data structures, which are having objects or arrays as observables. But I think I'm gonna make another video about that, and then yeah, I think you're gonna be able to learn that as well. But yeah, feel free to play around with it a little bit, and it's not super hard. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to clone this repository, and otherwise, see you in the next one.